Hi, guys. Blame Ashley tonight. I am late. I am late. Blame Mercury. We're going to just dive into. Yeah, hold on. Ashley was blowing up my Twitter, and I don't even know what to tell you what just happened. This is nuts. So I was going to start out with Britney, but this is just too delicious not to just like dive into and share with you because remember yesterday I was like saying like, oh, I'm sorry. I just did my makeup and I was trying to do it very festive and like very like colorful for the 4th of July. And I think I got a little bit too excited. All right, the dog is not dead. There she is on the floor. Here, I'll move Britney. There's Sweetie. Okay, so dog is not dead. All right, tonight's rendition is going to be brought to you by Bent Paddle Brewing Company in honor of the craziness that I just witnessed on Twitter. Thanks to Ashley. So before we get into Britney, which, oh guys, there is so much to talk about with Britney. And I don't know if you guys are like me, but I still miss It's Britney, Bitch. I still listen to that song. I miss the 2007 Britney. But I literally still, I work out to It's Britney, Bitch. Give me ma, give me ma, give me ma, give me ma. Do you remember that? Do you remember how she danced on the MTV Video Music Awards and she literally looked like a zombie? She was like, it was so bad. It's so bad. But I do love some Britney, bitch, okay? So, but before we jump into Britney, we need to talk to about, remember how yesterday, or was it 2 days ago? I don't even remember, you guys. But I remember how I was saying that Tanya is super boring and I was like so over her. I hate you, Ashley, because this is what I found. Oh, wait, hold on. I gotta fix this. She is doing some crazy shit on Twitter right now, and I can't even handle it. And in one of the photos, there's a crystal ball with a gun by it, which is really weird. I've never seen her use the crystal ball before, and it has a gun next to it. And who has she sent 3 cease and desist letters to in the past month? Who? Who? Oh, me. Whose company's named Without a Crystal Ball? Oh, me. Ashley, you're such a brat for showing this to me. You've thrown me down the wormhole. But I love you, Ashley. Okay. So, hold on. All right. Tanya is damn near losing her mind here. All right. So, Tanya's like losing her mind. She's like upset about something being in Mercury being in retrograde. And apparently she thinks that this is is the cause of like so many issues in her life right now, and she's like super emotional and she is swearing on Twitter, which if you recall, she was on in a video like last month, like down, like really talking poorly. I know Mercury in retrograde literally means nothing, but in her woo 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 mind, apparently this is the start of madness, and she is acting mad on Twitter. And I don't mean like mad in a good way. I mean like there's something going on here. So she's like throwing sage in her fireplace to get the evil demons out of her house. And then this, after the day I've had, I'm clearly still in the ugly caterpillar phase. Please, moon effing transform me already. She is always yelling at people for cussing. Always. Always. And then she's on Twitter cussing. Ugh. And then she's like, Mercury is a hand grenade coming to destroy your July 7th. Okay, so technically retrograde doesn't start until the 7th, but we are in the shadows, which sounds emotional and terrible. And do you see that little thing? There's a crystal ball and a gun. What the fuck? What? What the hef? A crystal ball and a gun. Tati, what are you talking about? And then she's like, Mercury and Gatorade time, friends. Monday updates, 2 cold brews just spilt all over James' car. To be continued. The moon is playing tricks on me and stuff. Time to ascend or something. What? I looked through her Twitter and I've never seen her use a crystal ball before, and a crystal ball with a gun? What the hell, Tati? That's freaking messed up. And even her people are like, what are you talking about? Like yelling at her. And they're like, here we go again. Apparently she does this on Twitter. Who knew? But what's Mercury in retrograde? It doesn't do anything. It's basically a cosmic event where Mercury, it is happening at some point this weekend. You won't feel anything in your life. But people that are really into astrology thinks that it will hit you with obstacles that you can feel appropriate or even comforting. It's saying it's Mercury's fault. It's believed that as Mercury moves backwards, so do our lives, whether as a conflict with a BFF or accidentally sleeping through an alarm. Blaming Mercury is the way safer than blaming ourselves. So while science does not back you up, we encourage you to go forth with confidence that nothing will bring you down on July 7th to August 20th. Oh my God. Tati, what the fuck? I don't like that at all. I don't like the crystal ball and I don't like the gun. Like, people think that she's so sweet and so kind, but like a sweet and kind person doesn't do that kind of crap. Anyways, we shouldn't be surprised that she is into astrology, however, because she thinks that a supplement will make your hair not be gray anymore and will make you have sunglasses in your eyeballs. Just remember that, folks. So, that's Tati. There wasn't really that much to talk about, but it's time for Britney, bitch. Okay. Yeah, I think she might, I don't know. Part of me feels like this WOA, the other account might be connected to Tati or maybe somebody else. I don't know. Except that whole account is all followed by a certain side, so who knows. Anyway, nature's sunglasses. All right, so Britney Spears is, okay, how old is she? Is she like 36, 37? What is going on with Britney? How old are you? She is 37. 37. So I'm a few years older than Britney. But I was old enough to be annoyed by her. But I was like older than her, so she was sort of annoying to me. But then her music was so catchy, it was impossible for me not to like her. So I was always kind of like, God, I want to hate you. But ooh, that snake routine was super cool. And then I would be like, oh, she's so annoying. But then like Toxic came out. Oh my God, you guys. And then I'm a Slave for You. Oh, I loved that song. I loved that song. But then Britney got with Kevin Federline, you guys. And that's when shit got real. No, actually, it was when she married that one friend of hers, that Alexander guy. For like 24 hours in Las Vegas. That was like our first cue that something was going on with Britney and she wasn't doing all the right things in the head. And after that, then she got involved with Kevin Federline, who was like basically a backup dancer and looked like he came out of a gutter. And she married him super fast, had 2 kids really quick. And then she went through a series of mental, um, really, really dark and really, really serious breaks. She was hospitalized under multiple 5150s. She had at one point like locked herself in the house. She wasn't going to let her kids out. The cops had to like come in and they took her off on a gurney. And if you remember that photo, she was like strapped to the gurney and she was like carried out of her Beverly Hills home. Um, and then, we also can't forget the time where she shaved her head in 2007, where she's in the tattoo parlor and everybody's watching her and she's literally like shaving all of her hair off. Um, or remember that other time where she was like being followed by paparazzi and she just like took off on the road and she like pulled over on the side of the road and she and her friend like jumped out of the car and just ran into the ocean, like out of nowhere. Or maybe the time where she took an umbrella and smashed the paparazzi's like door and she was like kicking the door. Um, yeah, and the Bush administration paid her to do that. And then she was like at the bar all the time. She was drinking like crazy. She was like out of control and she had just had 2 kids. People were speculating it was related to postpartum depression. Others were saying that it was mental illness. Britney was quickly put away and she went to go rest because that's what you do when you're a celebrity and you have a public breakdown like that, or you're mentally unwell. You go and you rest. You go to a retreat and you have your rest. But she really went to rehab to deal with alcohol and drugs and mental illness. And ever since then, she has been involved in a conservatorship with the state. So in 2008, her father, Jamie, became the conservator of her estate. And she has been in this conservatorship since then. So it's what, 11, 12 years now? And so she doesn't have the right to really make her own choices. They control her finances. They control like pretty much every aspect of her life. She has to get permission to spend money. She has to get permission to travel. She's been in multiple relationships in the last 12 years. And I remember there was one guy that she wanted to marry, but the conservatorship wouldn't let her get married. And I believe that was that guy that was her manager for a while that was like older, kind of creepy. Oh, I don't remember what his name was. What was his name? Um, mm-mm. What was his name? Let me look. Hold on, I'm looking. Where's her personal life? Was it Jason? No, not Jason. God, what was his name? Does anyone know? No, not Adnan. Who was her boyfriend? This guy, what was his name? I found his picture. God, he was such a weirdo. She denies he beat her. What is his name, though? His name was Jason Trawick. Yeah, I knew it was Jason. So she was involved with that guy Jason. Here, I'll just pop this image in right here. He was quite a bit older than her, and he was like her manager for a while. It was kind of a weird thing, and I think he wanted to marry her, but I don't think Britney's dad would let them get married or something. I don't remember. Let me see. I hate when this happens. This guy, remember him? This guy. He was like kind of chubby for a while, and then they like separated, and then he got ripped, and then I think they got engaged. I don't even remember. You guys, it's been a freaking mess. This woman has had me wild, and I'm sorry, I'm just like all over the place right now. Anyways, so that was that boyfriend that she was involved with for a while. Yeah, Jason Trawick, that was his name. Anyways, so now she has another boyfriend, and I think his name is Sam. He's like way younger than her, and he is delicious to look at. And apparently he is very good to her, but he is like 24 years old, and I think she's 37. Let me find a photo of him. He is smashingly handsome, like tastily delicious. I can't, my husband will hate me when he watches this because I'm all like, he is so yummy. I want to, where is it now? And this is her current boyfriend, who is hot, so hot, like yum. Yeah, it shouldn't matter. It shouldn't matter. But the point is that he is much younger than her. She is 37 years old. I think he's 24. But my point is that I was gonna start and show you through some of the photos that I have of her. Yeah, oh yeah. Jason sort of turned her life around. He really did. He controlled her also very much. She was very caged and sort of contained, and during that time, you didn't see a whole lot of Britney doing a lot of crazy stuff. She was very controlled. And then Britney went on to she was doing some touring, and then she took the residency at Las Vegas, which she actually did for a bunch of years. However, people that I know that went there and saw it said that the show wasn't actually even that good. They said that when they watched it, she really was sort of robotic, and going through the motions, and seemed kind of out of it. Which I was like, was it sort of kind of like when she was on the VMAs doing the Give Me More song, where she literally looked like she was so zoned out on her medication? I don't know. And by the way, I am zero, not like mocking her mental illness. There's just been something very off about her in the last few years. So anyway, I'm going to pull his image off. But Britney has a new diet, and this diet is whack, y'all. So wiggity whack. And I'm going to show you, I did a mashup of some of her Instagram stories because honest to God, this crap is nuts. She really does act a little, I don't know, you guys. I did some photos. I went through some photos of her, and I realized like her style, her personal style has not changed in like, I don't know, 10 years? 20? Oh, wait, hold on. That's the wrong video. There we go. Okay, so this is Britney's video from today where she's lost the 4 pounds that she has been desperate to lose. And I'll show you after the fact, after we watch some of her other videos, but watching her Instagram stuff made me super sad, and we're going to talk about that as well. So hold on.
Lost the 4 pounds that I've been wanting to lose. But now these are the fruits and vegetables that I eat to keep it all off.
And like this is her just like trying on outfits. She like goes through 4 outfits, and she's just like in the mirror putting on outfits. It's So odd. I don't I feel like Britney doesn't have friends. And isn't that her outfit from Toxic? Isn't that the stewardess outfit from Toxic? I'm pretty sure it is. And why does her hair always look so terrible?
Today is my last day here in Turks and Caicos, and these are the beautiful purchases that I got to remember this beautiful, beautiful place. Today is my...
Why does she sound like she's 5?
I made it to paradise. Hi guys, it's such a beautiful day. I had to come outside and do a little workout. I want to share it with all of you.
Like, and she has so many of these videos, so many on her Instagram. It's really weird.
Guys, okay, I just got home. Guess what the housekeepers just did to my closet?
And she literally always looks like this. What is with her
All
crop tops and
whites.
Daisy Dukes?
Color organization. All bright, all flowers, all hoodies, all blue, all black, all red, all black, all 90s, all winter, sweats, jacket. I just got my hair cut and new highlights. A girl with new hair. What am I gonna do?
And then she's got all these videos of her dancing. Like, I feel like she's stuck in that, like, 2000s Britney, that hit me, baby, one more time, Britney. The I'm a slave for you, Britney. I was the biggest thing in the world, Britney. It's so.
For those of you who don't think I post my own videos, I did this video yesterday. So you're wrong, but I hope you like it. For those... Hi guys, just checking in with all of you who are concerned about me. All is well. My family has been going through a lot of stress and anxiety lately, so I just needed time to deal. But don't worry, I'll be back very soon.
Okay, so that video that I played, the last one, I don't have the video of her doing the different, like, strutting on the patio. I didn't download that one. But so she does a lot of this. Like, if you go through her Instagram, it's like she has videos of her either working out, dancing, or trying on tons of outfits and then, like, strutting up and down her, like, house, or like posing provocatively or posing sexy. And I was like, I feel like part of me is like, okay, like, you want to stay relevant, you want to, like, seem like presentable and likable. She just spent like a couple months or a month in the hospital because her medications got completely they weren't working. So what happened was her dad who's her conservator, he got super sick this past fall, and he had like a bowel obstruction or something with one of his intestines, and he had to have a portion of his intestines removed, or his bowel, I can't remember. And he was so sick that at one point they thought he was going to die. He made it through, but apparently that really took a toll on Britney because he has been sort of like her rock for the last 11 years, holding her together, keeping her, making sure that, like, she stays well. So at the same time he gets sick, the medications that she's on to treat her bipolar. Now, she's referenced bipolar multiple times in the media, but they've never, like, come out and said, like, I'm diagnosed with bipolar. But I would say, thank you, Crystal. I would say that she for sure was, she's up, she's down. I would definitely say, like, that stuff that happened in 2007, she was having some mania. She seems sort of like, a characteristic of people that have bipolar is emotional immaturity. And I didn't really even realize this, but my aunt has bipolar, and it actually makes complete sense because my aunt is in her 70s and she's always acted a lot younger. Um, Emotional immaturity is actually not uncommon with a lot of mental illnesses, so that's the part where I'm like, I don't know. But she's referenced that she has bipolar in the media, so that's sort of what I suspect she has. I don't know. But, anyways, the cocktail that she was on for a really long time stopped working, which can happen with pharmaceuticals. For like, my aunt has had a ton of issues with her medications, and she's had to go through different, like, figuring out what the mood stabilizers and the antipsychotics and all the different medications that they have to be on. Anyway, so her medication stops working, and then she's also like getting ready for a new show to launch in Vegas. So they end up having to like completely cut the show. Initially, they were just going to postpone the show, and then Larry David, who is her manager and has been her manager for a long, long time, she and Larry made the decision that they were just going to cut the show. She wasn't going to do it. She wasn't going to. It was initially postponed indefinitely, but then they just scrapped it altogether. And Larry actually was interviewed, I think it was last month. I've been covering this story from a mental health perspective for a couple months. And some people on my column are like, why are you talking about Britney Spears? And I'm like, because mental health matters to me. And I really don't think that there's enough people talking about this side of it. I think a lot of people just look at her and they like laugh at her, or they're like, oh, Britney's being weird, or I just don't think people like, and then her fans are terrible. They're like at her conservatorship, like hearings, and they have like these free Britney signs, and they're like free Britney, free Britney, free Britney, and it's like crazy because so Britney Spears is like, the show in Vegas gets canned, then she goes into, I think it was in like February or March, she goes into an inpatient like rehab to get her medications stabilized. And during that time, she is like comes in and out. She gets some day passes where she goes out with Sam. There are photographs taken where she looks terrible. She looks very zoned out. She looks very out of it. She looks very disheveled. And so what we have been, she made that last video where she was like, hi guys, I'm just letting you know there's been some really stuff with my family, and I just need to go spend some time away to take care of myself. I'll be back. That kind of thing. So she goes into the inpatient program, and then during this time, this massive conspiracy starts with her fans that she has been held captive in this therapy center out of her will, not even wanting to be there. And they start this free Britney hashtag. It's freaking nuts. So she's forced to make this video because people think that she's not really putting the videos up, that people are forcing her to make these videos to make it look like she's normal. They think that she is doing this stuff against her will. They think that like none of this is her actually wanting to post. So she had to actually make a post saying, I know you guys say I'm not like, I don't put up my own videos, but I do this. I made this video yesterday. I hope you like it. That was that video. And so I think she spent like a month in the rehab. And since then, she has had a couple hearings in court. Now, this is where it gets kind of weird. So she and her mother have been pretty estranged since she went into this conservatorship. And her dad has been very much sort of in control. He's been taking care of everything. And Lynn and Jamie got divorced. That's her mother. And Lynn hasn't had much of a relationship with Britney in years. And then suddenly Lynn shows up, and Lynn wants Britney out of the conservatorship and she wants more access to Britney, which has the judges concerned. And so Britney goes to court with her parents, and her mother like speaks to the judge and asks the judge for legal access to knowing what's going on with her mother. Brittany asked for reduced restrictions. She asked for more access to her children. Um, and the judge denied that. And then at the same time, the judge ordered a mental health evaluation to determine her mental health status. And so fans were saying like she needs to get out of this conservatorship. But the thing about it is it's not the parents that decide that she's in the conservatorship. It's actually at this point the state of California that's in charge of Britney and her parents or whoever her whoever her guardian is. So basically, a conservatorship is just a really fancy way of a guardianship. She has a legal guardian, her father, that takes care of everything because the state has deemed her incapable of making her own decisions, and it's for due to her mental health. Now, it's not uncommon with many people that have mental illnesses to need conservators or guardians, specifically with managing money or assets. Because before, if you remember, before she had a guardian, she was going through so much money that she was spending it faster than she was making it, and she was like, they were worried that she was going to go broke. So they've completely turned her around. She's made a ton of money in the past 10 years. And she was asking the state to like give her more options. And then Lynn came in and wanted more access. So then there was this speculation that Lynn had never been on board with the conservatorship. She wanted Britney out of it. And then there was this other speculation that Lynn was doing this to get more access to Britney's money, or to potentially take advantage of Britney. And so there was some like kind of confusion. Uh-oh, buffering. Hold on. Hang on, guys. I should be back now. I should be back. Hold on. Let me just close a few things out here. Okay. I should not be buffering anymore according to my system. Let me just double check. I had a lot of stuff open. I didn't really close it before we started. Okay, I should be back. I am back. All right, you guys. Yay. Okay. So there was concern with, like, I think the judge or someone that the requests by Lynn were maybe not altruistic. There was speculation about why she was doing it. And so what happened, which is kind of bizarre, but the judge ordered this evaluation that is typically done by the court for children. And it's used in custody cases, which is kind of bizarre. But given the fact that she is actually like a guardian of the state, it makes sense because when you're a guardian, when you have a guardianship, it's basically like you are not adult enough to make the choices for yourself. So the evaluation might be for that. And I think she wanted more access to her kids, which I think if you remember, she doesn't have, and she hasn't had custody of her two boys, Preston and Jaden, Sean Preston and Jaden, since they were babies. Kevin has raised them with his wife, Victoria, I believe. And who would have thought that in the whole grand scheme of things, that Kevin would be like super dad, right? Like he was sort of like the scumbag, and then he suddenly becomes like super dad. So today, Brittany is, yeah, they're with Kevin. The kids are with Kevin. She has like, she can see them. She gets like, I don't know, weekends, I guess. But she doesn't have like physical custody of the kids. They have, they're with their dad. So, and then Kevin, that's another thing. He has been trying to get his child support increased, because the boys are used to a lifestyle that they live with Brittany, and he can't provide that. And then they were fighting about that for a really long time. And I don't know what ended up getting resolved with that. Um, there's been a lot, like a ton, to get, you know, there's a lot of people around Brittany. She hasn't really had a lot of access. And I think, with so many people controlling her life, I don't really think she's grown up that much. I mean, and it could be her mental health. I mean, I would say whatever is going on with her is clearly severe enough that it warrants having a guardian. You don't get a guardianship just for the hell of it. That doesn't just happen. Like, I know this because we're going to have to get a guardianship for my son when he grows up. And I know that it takes a lot for a state to deem someone a ward of the state in need of a guardian. So there's that. But I was looking through some of her images. Let me see if I can find them. Nope. Where are they? So I was looking through her images. So this is Britney in like 2000, 2001. I think that was like Slave for You, Toxic era. And I was like, she hasn't changed. Now this is her this year. Like, look at that. Like, between those two pictures. Like, one was in 2000 and one is this year. And this is this year. It's like she hasn't evolved. It's like her look hasn't changed. It's like the girl from the 80s that still has the feathered bangs and wears denim washed out jeans and Bon Jovi shirts. And I feel like she's constantly recreating this part of her life in photos. Oh, and then she said that her diet was going to help with stress and asthma. I don't know if you saw that diet, but like that photo of her, you guys, she just like doesn't look well. I don't know. Um, she just doesn't look well to me. All right. So I think it's odd because when you look at the history of celebrities, right? Britney's 37. So I think of someone who is around that age. Claire Danes. What is Natalie Portman around that age? Um, Pink is around that age. Um, Christina Aguilera is around that same age. Justin Timberlake is around that same age. Jessica Biel. Um, and if you look at them and you compare it to Britney, like all of those people look different. They've all changed. They've all evolved. They don't wear the same clothes. They don't have the same hair. They don't have the same makeup. Part of me, when I was looking through these photos, I felt really sad for her. Not like I'm not mocking her, more like I feel like she's trapped. She's trapped in a phase of her life that she's never going to get back. That level of stardom is never going to be hers. She's 37. She will never be the sex kitten again. Um, she is just in such a different spot, and I'm sure part of this is related to the mental health. And she's put music on. she's put music out, but it hasn't been like Britney level music. Her voice has never been, I mean, let's be honest, you guys, she's never had a good voice. She looks, yeah, I was gonna say NY, she looks emotionally stunted. Like she never stopped or she here, let's it's like she never grew past here, let me she never grew past let me get it up here. Okay. So she never grew past like this. And I think this is a Slave for You. That had to have been like 2000. It's like she never grew out of remember when lowrider jeans were all the rage? The girls wore the short, like the girls wore we wore our jeans so short that like our pubic bones stuck out and our vaginas were almost like touching, and the pants barely had a zipper. That's how low they were. And everyone wore crop tops and everyone had belly button rings. And like she never left that look. And today we don't dress like this. But she still does. And it's like she's never left that phase of her life. And I feel like that is really sad. Like her hair hasn't changed, her look hasn't changed. Like I I don't know, man. It's just you don't really see this that often with celebrities, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. Like celebrities usually have like publicists, and they have people that take care of their looks, and they have people that do their hair, and they have people that do their makeup. And it was like her hair always looks nappy. It looks like she has terrible extensions. It's like she's never learned how to properly brush her hair. She must the smoky look she does with her eyes is she looks like, I don't know, like this picture. Like that, what is that? What is with her eyes? It just, to me, it's like she's just not well. Like, if she has all of this money, why isn't someone taking care of her hair? Why isn't someone taking care of her makeup? Why isn't someone like being like, Britney, crop tops and lowrider jeans haven't been cute since 2001. It's like she's stuck 20 years ago. And it's, what do you think she's hiding with that eyeliner? Like, is she hiding her sadness? Is she hiding her emptiness? When she speaks, she looks very like empty. That there doesn't seem to be there very much there. And I know some of these medications can be very hard on you. I know they can slow you down. Maybe she needs Tanya's Halo vitamins. Yeah, exactly. Like, why doesn't she have a glam squad? She literally has millions of dollars, you guys. I mean, that Vegas, um, that like show she did in Vegas for all of those years, she made bank. I mean, she sold out. Her tickets were super expensive. Her contracts were like 50 million, 90 million. I mean, and that was the other thing is when I'm watching her videos, I'm like, it's almost like she has no friends. Like, I wonder how isolated she is from the world. Like, how separated she is from everything. Like, does she have people in her life that can tell her, like, Britney, we need to get you a new wardrobe. Britney, lowrider jeans are not cute anymore. Britney, you're 37 years old and wearing a crop top is, not what most 37-year-old women wear. I mean, they do sometimes, but not every time. And I don't care if you are a 37-year-old and wear a crop top, but I'm just saying, like, you just don't see people dressing like this anymore. I don't get it. You would think with the amount of money she has and the amount of cash she has and the amount of people around her, they would have a stylist in her life that would be like, Britney, we have to change this. What is this? Um, they left it because it's something she can control. Maybe. I don't know. You would think if her handlers cared about her brand and her market. And that's the other thing. Like, she's in such poor health right now. They were like, her manager, Larry, was saying that he doesn't know if she's ever going to perform again. That's how concerned he was about her health this past fall. He said, if or when she ever goes back to work. And he said that they had zero interest in making her work. They don't want to make her work. She has worked too much. She has worked enough for like 5 people in her lifetime, that she has overworked, that her mental health is not well enough to work. Um, so then another part of me is like, was the machine that made Britney part of this too? Because remember how like Michael Jackson got so stunted and he started as a kid and Britney started as a kid? I mean, she was on the Mickey Mouse Club and he was like in the Jackson 5. And like Michael was like a petulant child until he died. And well, let's not even discuss like the crap he did to little boys, but he had that like very like childlike mystique. And it's always just been so odd to me watching these celebrities that grow up. It's like they missed their childhood, they worked their whole childhood, and then they never grew up because everything was so controlled around them. And then, like, I feel like these child stars, more often than not, don't age well in the world of superstardom. I mean, goddamn, she's had a better success than I ever thought she would. She has been around way longer than I ever thought she would be. And yes, I mean, she does have some contemporaries like Justin Timberlake and Christina Aguilera that have also continue to be in the public eye, though. I am not. Did we talk about how Justin Timberlake is canceled? Did we talk about this? Have we talked about Justin being canceled? He is so canceled. I canceled him like 2 weeks ago. Did we talk? I feel like we didn't talk about this. Justin is so canceled. Justin and Jessica Biel are freaking anti-vaxxers. They are canceled. Canceled. How can you be a damn anti-vaxxer in 2019? The state of California is trying to do this thing. They actually just passed it. This law to end doctor shopping and doctors writing medical prescription or medical exemptions. And they did. Jessica was voting, like lobbying hard against them passing this because she admitted at the Capitol that she had to travel to multiple doctors in order for her son to get a medical exemption for not having to get vaccines. And she didn't want to lose that by this law passing. And it did pass. And so her children will have to be vaccinated if they want to go to public school. And like, as soon as I saw that, I was like, God damn, your sexy is not back. I was so into you, Justin, for so many years. I had so many amazing dreams with Justin Timberlake. He has no idea. So many. Yeah. Bye, 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 bye. Oh my God. Do you guys want a story? We can end it on a story time. Do you want a story time? I can tell you a story. I'm gonna bring you a story. All right. So here's my story. Everyone, get your popcorn. Get your popcorn. Get your wine or beer. All right, let's go. Back in 2001, I was dating a man who went on to be a porn star. Yeah, that's right. I dated him. It's gross. Not because he's a porn star, just because he was gross. But he had this stripper friend who was a traveling stripper. She lived in California and she would come to Minneapolis and she would work at this strip club called Rick's Cabaret, which was sort of a upscale chic topless bar, not fully nude, um, where the girls were very silicone. And one evening, while she was at work, just no, Lance Bass, which is super funny now considering the fact of where he's at in his life, and he has come out now as gay, and Joey Fatone from NSYNC went to the strip club. And some guy that was with them became obsessed with this girl that was my boyfriend's friend. I'm sure they were totally doing it, and I was completely like naive. I'm sure that's what this was all about. Anyways, she comes home from work and she was like, "Oh my god, you guys, I got backstage passes to NSYNC tomorrow night. Do you want to go?" And my boyfriend and I were like I didn't like NSYNC then. He didn't like NSYNC, but it's like, how do you turn down backstage passes, right? All right, so we get all dressed up and we go to, it was at the Metrodome, which has now been blown up. It doesn't exist anymore if you are familiar with Minneapolis. It was a very 80s looking dome. It is now US Bank Stadium, which is looks really retrograde or really like futuristic and has glass that birds fly into and birds are dying all the times. So this was this was their No Strings Attached tour. So it was their final tour. That was their last like album that they did. Then they broke up. And so the sound guy, he said that we had backstage passes, but we really didn't. Basically, he just took us around. We never actually went backstage. We never got to meet them. But what he did was, because he ran the entire sound system for the entire event, so basically like he was in charge of the sound production for the show, he took us to all the different spots of where they would be. So when they would walk down a catwalk, he put us right in the crowd. So like we would be standing, like, you know, when they walk on those catwalks sometimes and there's always like the little kids that have their hands up and they're like, "Oh, touch me, touch me, touch me." So they like put us there. And then when the show started, he actually put us in the sound, in the middle of the stage, like out of the catwalk, there was this big like sound booth where all of the sound equipment was. And it had two levels. And so there was the sound equipment on the top, and then on the bottom was where the band would come in from underneath the catwalk, and they would shoot them up onto the stage from there. So what is so funny, it was like we were on the field. So we're standing in the sound booth, right? And there's all this massive amounts of equipment. We couldn't have our cameras or anything, and this was back in the day where nobody had there wasn't camera phones. It was all flip phones. And then all of a sudden, they like the entire group, all of the NSYNCers were below us, like literally underneath our feet. And there was this little pole right here, and there was a hole in the floor. So we're all like staring, trying to look in the hole. And we're like, "Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, it's NSYNC. Oh my god, they're right there." And then all of a sudden, oops, I got super blurry here. And then all of a sudden, we see a hand with a towel come right up and shove a towel in the hole so that we cannot see them. Like, it was like busted. So they shove the towel up. We can't see them anymore. And then, so we're walking all over, and this is like the funny thing is if you remember in sync, their median fan was like 12. I was 22. So I was definitely like older than the average NSYNC fan. I wasn't never even an NSYNC fan. Like I didn't listen to their music. I was not into boy bands. Um, so I thought it was funny because every time the sound guy was walking us to different parts, the little 12-year-old girls were like throwing daggers at us. And so then they put us in the pit where the catwalk was, and it was insane because like we had our hands up and like literally I could see like up JC's nose. Remember JC? And I felt like such a turd because I was like, JC, JC. And then after that was over, we spent the rest of the night in the first row watching the show with amazing seats. But like we didn't know the music. I didn't recognize any of it. It was very designed for kids. It was like a cartoon. I mean, the show was so produced for children. It was very obvious who their market was. It was not for 22-year-old women like me. So, I ended up like it was funny though because at that show, that was the last tour that NSYNC did, and it was really funny because at that show, remember the singers, primary singers in that band were Justin and JC, and JC actually had almost a better voice than Justin, but on on stage, I cannot. That's the day I became a Justin Timberlake fan because he oh my God, he has the most impressive stage presence. It's unbelievable. And he has the best, like, I don't know, like when you see someone and you're like, God, that person has it. And my boyfriend at the time was like, that kid's gonna be a freaking star. And it was like they were already this massive band, but they weren't solo. And then it was like the next year he released Justified, and it was like wild and it went huge, right? And I just remember sitting back with him, like thinking, we called it. We knew he was going to be huge. So that was the concert where I became obsessed with Justin Timberlake. And that's when, remember, he had the big, froey, curly hair. And he was probably dating Britney Spears back then. So, yeah. They did not sing This I Promise You. Wait, did they? They might have. Yeah, NSYNC did sing that. They did sing that. So yes, that was my NSYNC story, my brush with fame with a towel shoved up a hole because I saw them. In another episode, we can talk about how I got kicked out of Slug's car on Lyndale Avenue in Minneapolis. Woohoo! All right, you guys. I can kind of fangirl. I'm not gonna lie. I can fangirl hard. I fangirled on some Atmosphere Slug for years. Oh my God. All right. I'm going to be done. But keep an eye on Tati. Let's not talk about freeing Britney because Britney is exactly where she needs to be. And I hope you guys have a wonderful holiday. If you are in the United States, it is the 4th of July tomorrow. We lit off some fireworks tonight, and my son, for the first time, was loving them. And so we're going to go get more fireworks tomorrow. We don't get to do the big ones because those aren't legal here, but we can get the little ones that make sparklers and do all the poppy stuff. And he didn't like the noise, so he just sat like this, but he still like loved the way it looked, and he was saying that it looked like dragon breath. It was awesome. And then he got all his Godzillas out. It was amazing. So tomorrow we're gonna go to the carnival and we're gonna have an amazing time. And I hope you guys all do too. And I hope you guys also make sure to drive carefully, stay off the roads, do not drink and drive. Tomorrow is a really big day for car accidents, so please be safe. If you have had too much to drink, do not drive. Make sure you have a sober driver with you. All right, you guys, I hope you have a wonderful day, and we will see you on the flip side. Bye.